Action. Action. Hello everybody. How are we this Friday? Hope everybody's going brilliantly well. As just said, I had a poor internet connection, so just let me know if you cannot hear. And how do you do that? Let's have a look. No. Oh, no, definitely not that. Oh golly. What's going on? I've just got out of everything. Well done, me. No, I'm still there. I've got my flashes outfit on for you today. Actually, I've just been doing some filming for Superhero University. So anybody out? Oh, hello. There's my lighting and unmown lawns. I just am not sure how to look at comments. Why is that not happening? Does anybody out there know how to do Facebook Lives and see the comments? Oh, you can't let me know because the comments aren't working. Oh, anyway, I'll just get on with it. What I was going to do today is Q&A, but very hard to do when you can't see comments. I had a lot of emails though come through, so I thought I'd answer those today on Friday and also tell you about the holiday program which is coming up. And quite timely actually. Just 1 second, I'm going to turn on the light. I'm still here. Dun, 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 dun. There you go. All right, we're back. So quite timely, an email came through from one of our previous clients, and it is Melting Moments Day today, and this is one of our melting moments for this week. It was a lovely, lovely email, and it is quite timely because we're moving into the holidays, and the holidays being a prime time to get children working at a much, much higher level. And usually what happens over the holidays is that children will fall backwards in reading. And so that the holiday program's here to not only have your kids working at level, but also above, which would be nice, wouldn't it? So that's what I was going to do, is firstly read out this amazing email that came from one of our clients last year who saw us last year around this time. So here we go. This is the email I received this week, and I'm reading it off the screen. Where does it start? No, you don't need to know that. Here we go. Yes, that's looking up my nose, I know. So 1 year ago, I was at my wit's end. How to help my child who was struggling at school. He was way behind his peers in his final year of primary school. So in grade 6, moving into high school. Lacking confidence and a dislike of learning was growing steadily daily. I was very concerned how he was going to cope in high school. Would he be a target for bullies or perhaps fall behind bad crowd, leading to bad choices and poor behaviour or worse? I can't tell you where my thoughts were going, but I was scared for my son's future. And we hear this quite a lot, okay? That worry of that transition to high school is a big one, isn't it? That's not me reading the email, that's me talking off the cuff. So I came across an ad on Facebook, which is me, and that said, our saviour for my boy. This year, my son is a completely different person. His first year of high school is nearly over and has gone so much better than I could ever imagine. His confidence has improved and he is no longer lagging behind his classmates. He understands his teachers and completes his tasks independently and within time requirements set. Homework is no longer causing us arguments, frustration and tears. It gets done without fuss. Even his handwriting is neat and legible. Nice. Good celebration. Another bonus, he helps out around the house without being asked. I nearly passed out when I discovered the dishwasher being emptied without me having to ask 10 times. Winning Sorry, I'm just moving it up. I have to say, the best Christmas present you could get your child, if they are struggling, is the booster program with the Mind Master. That's me. It's been the best thing for our son, and I tell everybody to just get their child doing the program. It has not only changed my child's life, it has positively impacted our whole family. Happy mum, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, that was a celebration from this time last year. All right, that person started this time last year, rewiring brains, and also going through some mindset work. And it's quite amazing what can happen when we charge kids' batteries, when we help them feel they're awesome. Okay, when they feel successful, when they feel safe, that what they are doing is actually going to make a difference. This is what happens again and again and again. It's funny, the dishwasher one, we have a lady, Bianca, who put a celebration in our group earlier this year, and she said exactly the same thing, emptying the dishwasher 7 times in the 6 months. She counted each and every time, so it must have been a standout. Weird and wonderful things can happen when kids understand what we call charges their batteries. And we want to keep our batteries charged all the time. And one way of charging our batteries is actually to charge other people's batteries, like mum, and making your bed, doing the dishes, that sort of thing. So it mightn't sound like a huge thing, but when there's a shift in attitude, a shift in that positive energy, it's quite brilliant what happens. And that's what our booster program is about. Our holiday booster program coming up over the holiday period, funnily enough, where we get in, we rewire brains, and things like handwriting, spelling, reading, maths, on average take a jump of around 1.5 to 2 years within 3 months, which is pretty remarkable when you look at any other interventions out there. So yeah, that's cool, bananas. Now, also, I just wanted to jump over to the emails. We had some questions come through, and I am trying to do that. Sorry, you're looking at the roof now. There we go. And all right, so first one is, do you work with children in high school? And we do. It is not our focus, but we do work with young adults and children in high school. When we first started Rewiring Brains, and brain training and helping kids that way, we did work with schools. We found in high school that when children were in grades 9, 10, 11 and 12, that there was a lower compliance rate, all right, especially when we weren't there to actually help out and keep motivation going and that sort of thing. So that's why we developed the group, so kids can see other kids striving and thriving. And if we work with around 12 to 15 children, depending on their age, per month. So when it comes to those kids in 9, 10, 11 and 12, I do ask some big questions around compliance and if you can get them over those hurdles. And if they're being typical teenagers and ruling the roost or trying to. So you need to be able to get over those hurdles with our help. And the best way I find to do that is by looking for the little changes that happen along the way with brain plasticity and rewiring brains and mindset work. Anywhere from 5 to 14 would be our major group. So probably about 85% of the kids we work with are in that age 5 to 14 area. So there you go. There was one question. We had another question here. Oh, not that one. No. Okay. Is the Superhero University separate from the holiday program? Yes and no. So sometimes I jump on the phone with people and we'll talk, and what comes across to me is that they are very low in confidence. They're not feeling great things about themselves. So I would, in that case, and if ability isn't very, very, very low, I would probably want to get that child feeling confident, have more self-belief, because once you raise confidence, okay, ability can tend to follow somewhat. It depends on the child, and we need to have a discussion around that. But the Superhero University can be done separately to the brain training. But the two combined, I find, gets better results. So once we've got a brain, focusing, processing, recalling, remembering information, and being able to get our thoughts to paper and follow instructions and all those things, once that's done, the child can go in a classroom and feel a weight is lifted, and they're able to keep up in class. They're able to do things at a higher level, so they do feel better about their schooling and their school confidence. So that's what I would suggest the majority of the time for people, but every child's different. So we do that. We have a look, we have a chat, and we see if it's the right fit or not. I really wish I could see comments, but there we go. I'm just going to put thanks in there and see if anybody else's thing comes up. So that was a good question. Thank you for that one. And I'm not even sure who it is now. Okay. Can someone comment, just so I can see if it comes up? Say, hey, hello. Or if you've got a question about anything and everything and about your child, pop it in and I'll see if it jumps up on the screen. Oh, look at them. Everybody's jumping off now. No, not me. Don't put me on the screen. All right, well, while we're waiting, I'll answer another question. Let me just see what we've got here in the emails. That was a funny one. Someone must have seen a video of me playing guitar about a year ago and they wanted me to do it again. It's funny. I recently did a video. It was on Positive Thoughts, I think, and I grabbed the guitar just off the cuff and I played it for the Superhero University. Yes, we work, Anna, not that Anna's on today, but that was an email we got. We work throughout Australia. So initially when we started, we were able to, or we had the rights for using the brain training in Victoria, New South Wales and New Zealand. Now we're Australia-wide. So yes, we do work throughout Australia. Sometimes I have troubles with time zones. Recently rang somebody and they were in Queensland and they were an hour different. But yes, we do work Australia-wide. Another question here, how many children do you work with? Oh, I kind of answered that one before. So we work with around 12 to 15 kids per month. Now that might sound like a lot to you, but to us it is when you're reading the data and doing all the things we do at our end. So if you add that up, oh, Nicola, could you please comment and just, look at all the love hearts, Nicola. Thank you very much. I can see the love hearts. Could you put a comment in? I just want to see if the comments are coming up. Nicola, that would be fantastic if you could do that. Yes, all right. So it's just that everybody's ignoring me. Thanks very much, everybody. No, I'm only joking. Don't feel pressure. So yes, around 12 to 15 students per month. Okay, now that's kind of the limit we've had to set because we can get a little overwhelmed with if we go any further than that. And if you add that up over 6 months, because our main program is 6 months in duration, then we're looking at around 80, 90 people that we're working with, or 80, 90 students that we're looking at and helping each month. So that is what we do there. What else have we got here? Another question. I had a whole heap of them. I should have got them all in the one area, shouldn't I? NAPLAN. My thoughts on NAPLAN are I don't like it. I actually don't like comparison, okay? I think comparison breeds judgment. So whether, and our society is not judgment free, is it? We've got politicians. Have a look. I remember trying to teach, kids to debate back in when I was teaching in the olden days. It's been that long, and you'd be setting up the class in a debate situation. You'd be talking about the whip and the and Parliament and all this, and then you turn on Question Time and here they are, no, I do this better than you, I do this better than you. Judging, argument. Really, it's not how a perfect debate should go. We're getting, and look, have a look at them on their phones in Parliament. Question Time. They're all on their phones, they're not even listening. It's not setting a great example. But when you're looking at comparison, things like the NAPLAN, just simply having reading levels, having spelling groups, having maths groups, kids know. They know if they're in the lower reading groups or not. And it does my head in a little bit when you see these kids who know they are not reading at that level and they're starting not to feel great about themselves. As much as we say it doesn't matter, don't compare yourself to anyone else, kids do. They just do. We do it as adults. We compare one child to another. We've got sporting group compared to sporting group. It's everywhere. And when we say to our kids, don't worry, just don't compare yourself to others, that's a hard task for someone who's constantly being bombarded with comparison. I don't know what did the question start out to be. I ended up in a totally different spot, didn't I? I think it's a big thing actually. And we want to help kids find their genius and find what they love doing and then embrace that. The classroom setup is not set up for 70% of the kids in it, in my opinion, anyway. Let me look at the... do you deal with working memory, my son? Yeah, okay, I won't read the rest. Yes, so working memory is a key area, and in my experience, if you look back when I was a boy, I know I only look 21, right? But I'm actually 40-something, which is okay, Jeremy, okay? But back 40 years ago when I was in the classroom, working memory wasn't really spoken about, okay? More short-term memory, long-term memory. And working memory is when we take on information for a short time and we're able to manipulate that information. So it's also about transference of thought, all right? Now, a big sign for me that things are perhaps not working well is watching the kids write. Copying from the board's a good one, dictation's another one. Back in the olden days, it was the old chalk and talk. We didn't have smart pads and smart pads. We didn't have iPads and smart boards and computers, memory sticks and all of those sorts of things. And so it was chalk and talk. And the teacher would be up there, scribble, and they'd be talking. And then the child would have to listen, look at the board, copy down that phrase, that sentence, and transfer it to paper. And quite often the teacher would be right, get down the bottom, and they'd rub the top sentence out, and then they start writing up the top. And I remember that because Mr. Hyde used to do that, and I couldn't. But in the classroom today, we actually physically write 3 times less than we used to. All right, now that's actually an old stat. I think it might be a little more than that now. So we're writing 3 times less in the class. On a neuroscience side or a brain training side, we're actually exercising the pathways around transference of information, okay, that visual processing, okay, we're doing that 3 times less. And when you exercise 3 times less, it's 3 times weaker. I hope I'm making so when we're looking at transference of thought, we're looking at working memory. I think there's been a big shift, and we're doing a lot of those processes which used to stimulate those areas of the brain, like working memory. And dictation's another one. It's slipped out. I remember back in the olden days, we would... I'm not old. My boy calls it the olden days, and so I just... we would have dictation every day. Spelling words would be read out, in phrases, in sentences. We would then listen, hold, transfer to paper. Listen, hold, manipulating punctuation, sentence structure, grammar, decoding strategies, and writing it down. Now, with predictive text, with computers, it's kind of taken that job away from us. I have taught in classrooms where the apparent top kids of the class are copying down one word at a time from the board. Okay? It's something has moved, and I'm not saying technology's the devil, that's not the case. Technology's here to stay, isn't it? But it's definitely something has changed, and working memory is something that sticks out again and again and again, and you hear it all the time. And many of the kids that come to us are all about working memory, and they've had testing done, and it's the main ones for me are working memory, processing speed, are the couple of the major areas, following instructions. So these are key areas of the brain. We break through those key areas. Once we fix working memory and processing speed, and we have kids being able to work at natural speech and above, that's when you see these boom, big breakthroughs that happen, as well as working on the mindset side. And that's I don't know. We started out talking about working memory, and I went off and away, didn't I? But that's okay. So that's my little theory about working memory and how things have changed. There you go. All right, now my screen's gone off. Let me see. Do we have any other questions there? Okay. I really loved your webinar the other night. I'm just scared of being conned. I don't know how to answer that one. I guess you can Google me. My address, my phone number, and everything is on my Facebook page. You can see how long we've been around for. There you go. I'm a bit like that too sometimes, you know, especially when people ring up out of the blue and want to sell you solar or that sort of thing. But anyway, here I am. I have been here for a very long time now and not teaching. And the reason we stopped teaching was because we saw greater gains. This is when we first started the MindMaster. I stopped teaching. I left a permanent job to rewire brains because I could see much, much, much greater gains doing what I'm doing now. That's why we do that. So I'm not going to sit here and convince you that I'm awesome. I know I am, but I'm not going to sit here and say, look, I'm not going to con you, because that really falls on deaf ears. You know, we get what we focus on. I'm really big on that. If you go and research something, and if you're partial to one side of things, you will find information to do with that's not going to work. Or if you're very open-minded, then you'll possibly find things that are going to back up your theory that everything's going to be awesome. That's just me. I think that will do. That's probably all the questions we had this week. There's a couple more. There's a couple of great celebrations which I'll put on our Melting Moments in a little while. I have a call in about half an hour, so I'll do that later. Thanks for listening in for Q&A Friday. If you do have any questions, please pop them in. I'm happy to answer any and all questions. Thank you, Nicola, for commenting and letting me know that I could be heard. Awesome sauce. All right, well, that's about it. So if you do want to jump on and have the holidays, get your child ready for next year, what I suggest is actually, instead of just contacting me, jump onto one of our live trainings, and I'll put the link below here somewhere. Text message just come through. Okay, yes, thank you very much. Jeremy's reading his text message. Just click on the link and have a listen into one of our live trainings. They're a little bit of fun, but there's some great eye-openers and ideas that you can use at home. And really, if you want to have things cracking by next year and have your child feeling confident and able to work at a much, much higher level, honestly, huge. There's 2 years. The average gain from what we do is 2 years within that 4 or 5 month period. All right. So imagine how long would you have to go to a tutor for that to happen? Usually quite some time. And that's what we do. It is quite amazing. It's been the greatest buzz for the last, 8, 9, 10 years working in this forum. All right. I will really go now. Fantastic. You've been great. Thank you so much for listening, and I will bid you adieu. Ta-ta. Give your kids a high five for me.